Every generation has a voice that defines an era. For Southern gospel, few names shine brighter than Jim Hamil, known to fans and friends as Big Jim. For more than 5 decades, Jim Hamil sang, laughed, and inspired from the stage, leaving behind a legacy that can never be forgotten. Jim Hamil was born on August 10, 1934, in Big Stone Gap, Virginia. But he grew up in Memphis, Tennessee, where his father, Reverend James E. Hamil, pastored the First Assembly of God Church for many years. It was in those pews and around those people that young Jim discovered his gift for music and his love for gospel singing. By the early 1950s, Jim had stepped into the professional world, joining the Songfellows Quartet in 1952. Interestingly, this was the same group that a young Elvis Presley once auditioned for, only to be turned down. But for Jim, it was the beginning of a remarkable journey. Over the next 2 decades, Jim Hamil's voice would echo through some of gospel music's most iconic quartets: the Weatherfords, the Blue Ridge Quartet, the Oak Ridge Quartet, and the Rebels, where he had 2 separate stints. Each group helped shape him, but Jim was also shaping Southern gospel itself. His voice, rich, commanding, and crystal clear, made him a standout lead singer. Yet, it wasn't just his singing. Jim had something extra, a spark of humor, personality, and charisma that made him unforgettable. But the defining chapter of Jim Hamil's career came in 1971, when he joined the Kingsmen Quartet. That's where history was written. While Eldridge Fox handled the business side, Jim took charge of the stage. He arranged the music, picked the songs, and led the Kingsmen with unmatched energy. As the group's MC, Hamil was larger than life, telling jokes, sharing stories, and making sure every audience felt like part of the family. For nearly 28 years, Jim Hamil and the Kingsmen dominated the Southern gospel scene. They recorded over 75 top 10 hits, with 20 songs reaching #1, more than any other male quartet at the time. And along the way, Jim earned multiple Singing News Fan Awards, cementing his place as one of gospel music's most beloved lead singers. Fans didn't just come to hear Jim sing, they came to laugh with him. His humor was legendary. He had a way of making every concert feel like a revival and a comedy show all rolled into one. That's why people called him Big Jim. But behind the laughter was a deep heart for ministry. Hamil wasn't just entertaining, he was encouraging. He wanted every person to walk away with joy in their heart and hope in their spirit. One of Jim's greatest legacies was his mentorship. Younger singers looked up to him, and he never hesitated to share advice, encouragement, or just a good laugh. His influence stretched far beyond the Kingsmen and helped raise a new generation of gospel musicians. After retiring from full-time singing, Jim Hamil didn't slow down completely. He still appeared at concerts, reunions, and a national quartet convention, always welcomed with thunderous applause. On November 29, 2007, Jim Hamil passed away peacefully in his sleep at the age of 73. But his legacy lives on, in the countless recordings, in the fans who still remember his jokes, and in the singers he inspired. In 2004, Jim Hamil was rightfully inducted into the Southern Gospel Music Association Hall of Fame, a fitting honor for a man who gave his life to gospel music. Jim Hamil's story is more than just about music. It's about joy, laughter, and using your gifts to touch lives. He showed us that gospel singing could be powerful and spiritual, but also fun and full of life. So the next time you hear a Kingsmen classic, remember the man behind that strong lead voice, the man who could make you laugh and cry in the same concert. Big Jim Hamil reminds us all, live with joy, sing with passion, and never be afraid to let your light shine.